Well, who would have thought the race at Phoenix would end that way? I'm Justin with NRN, and thanks for tuning in to this recap. Man, I did not see that coming at all. Matt Kenseth wins what could be his last race win of his career, and he takes it away from Chase Elliott, who was racing to get into the top four. Man, we'll try to break it all down right here on the recap. Starting with Matt Kenseth this week announced that he would not be returning to 2018 competition when he could not find a solid ride, and he is out at the end of the season from Joe Gibbs Racing. So what an emotional win for him to come and win what I said was probably his last race victory. He didn't throw the R word around, retirement. But yeah, he said he wouldn't go to just any other team and ride around. He wanted to be on a team where he could still get wins. And he proved today that he is still a guy who can win, because he straight up took that race away from Chase Elliott, who was racing with 9 laps to go. He was leading the race. If he wins his first ever NASCAR Cup victory. But not only that, that is special in its own right, winning your first race in NASCAR. But not only does he win his first race, he wins and gets into the top 4 to go to Homestead this Sunday and compete for the 2017 championship. Of course, with 9 laps to go, Kenseth gets around him, and that doesn't happen. I tell you what, stage 3 was pretty exciting, and that was some good racing to close out the playoff portion of the NASCAR season at Phoenix. But the first 2 stages wasn't a whole lot going on. Even when I was starting to make my notes for this recap, I wrote at the top of the page, not a whole lot to talk about, and there really wasn't. Stage 1 was green flag all the way, no incidents really, not a whole lot of racing going on up front. Larson pretty much dominated stage 1. He wins stage 1, but has more trouble with the engine, and in stage 2 blows another engine. That's like the second and third engine this year he's blown, where he has never had an engine failure up to this point. He didn't start having this problem until actually he started racing for a championship in the playoffs. He had that engine blow at Kansas, which took him out of the playoff contention. And then another one here today in Phoenix. And then, man, I'm sure he's one of the guys who is just looking for 2017 to be over with and go ahead and get to Daytona and start 2018 and hopefully have some better luck than he's been having these last couple of races, where he's been leading laps and running up front, just hasn't been able to finish, which finishing is, well, finishing's what it's all about, isn't it? Stage 2 was pretty much all Denny Hamlin. He had a very strong car, and with Larson out of the way, he went up there and he pretty much owned the rest of the field, leading pretty much the entire stage 2, which was green flag all the way. He picks up that win, which at the time made him the 4th guy in the championship and had Brad Keselowski looking on the outside. But that all changed when we got to stage 3, and that's when things got turned up a notch or two. It started with Johnson hit the wall. That's right, Jimmy Johnson was out of the race at the beginning of stage 3. And so his drive for 8 championships comes to a end, and he will not have that 8th title, so we'll have to wait another year to see if he can come back stronger than he was this season and win that 8th title. Those guys struggled in the championship races. They were just surviving, and well, it takes more than just surviving to win a championship at this level. Johnson hit the wall, and that was the it. But then this is when things really get exciting. Okay, so we've all been waiting. Is Elliott gonna get his payback on Hamlin for what happened at Martinsville? Of course, I didn't think it would come at Texas anyway, because the speeds are so crazy at Texas. That would just be a really dangerous place to attempt something like that. You could kill a guy trying to wreck someone at Texas. But when it got to Phoenix, I was telling everybody, I think we're gonna see it at Phoenix. And boy, did we. The 2 drivers came together, and Chase Elliott puts Denny Hamlin in the wall, which creates a tire rub, which later cut down that tire. And Hamlin crashed and was out of the race, didn't finish. So Hamlin's championship hopes come to an end. I guess Chase Elliott was thinking, well, if I'm not going to make it, you ain't going to make it either, brother. So with Hamlin out, that pretty much handed a Christmas present to Brad Keselowski, who was back in the top 4 until Chase Elliott took the lead with about 22 laps to go and was leading all the way until about 9 to go, when Matt Kenseth got around him, passed him, and won at Phoenix. But with Elliott coming up short in second place and Hamlin crashing, that actually would put Brad Keselowski in the top 4. So Brad Keselowski will be that 4th driver going to Homestead to compete for the championship. Let's take a look at the race results. The top 20 from the Can-Am 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway. Matt Kenseth, of course, would get the victory over Chase Elliott in second place. Martin Truex Jr. would be third. The rookie Eric Jones would be fourth with a really strong run. He's actually going to be driving the Matt Kenseth car next year at Joe Gibbs Racing. So look for Eric Jones to do really good things in 2018. Fifth would be Kevin Harvick. Jamie McMurray would be sixth. Kyle Busch struggled with the handling today. He would be 7th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with a really strong top 10 run. He'd be 8th. And another really solid run from Eric Almirola, who would be 9th. And rounding out the top 10 would be Dale Earnhardt Jr., making his last Phoenix start. 11th would be the rookie Ty Dillon. Good job from him. He started 29th and finishes the day 11th. Really good job. 12th would be Joey Logano. Clint Bowyer would be 13th. Austin Dillon 14th. Paul Menard would be 15th. Brad Keselowski struggled all day long. He would be 16th, but as I said, it doesn't really matter because with Hamlin crashing and Elliott finishing second, not winning the race, Brad Keselowski gets into the top 4 despite having a dismal day. And in 17th place, the pole sitter Ryan Blaney was really hoping he would have a really good afternoon starting from the pole, and I was hoping he would get up there and fight for that championship, but man, he just did not have the car all day long, and he finishes 17th. Daniel Suarez would be 18th. Good job from him. Casey Kane 19th, and rounding out the top 20 of the Can-Am 500 would be Ryan Newman. And just to recap, the top 4 finishers who will be racing for a championship at Homestead this weekend: Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Brad Keselowski will be the top 4. One of those 4 guys is going to be a champion this season. And with Homestead coming up this weekend, I tell you what, I'm not even going to try to predict anything. Nope, not even going to try. I was thinking about making some predictions of what I thought I might see, but I've been terrible at that all year long. Nothing has really turned out like I thought it would, so I'm just not even going to go there. But I will say this, I still feel like, well, you know what, I will make a prediction because this is going to kind of be a prediction. But I still feel like Martin Truex Jr. is going to be the guy to beat. He seems to be the strongest one. Yeah, I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to be the guy who's hoisting that cup over his head. I'll make that prediction. I'll also say this. Let me just say one more. Gosh, I can't even look at me. I say I'm not going to do it, and I wind up doing it anyway. I'll say this. With two Toyotas and 2 Fords being in the championship, I said last week at Texas, have the Fords finally found power over those Toyotas because Kevin Harvick ran down Truex Jr. so easily and got around him at Texas to win that race. I posed the question, had Ford found speed? And after what I saw today at Phoenix, I just don't think that was the case. Man, the Fords struggled all day long. They barely ran in the top 10. Harvick led the way most of the day at a track that is one of his best, and I don't think he ever got higher than maybe 4th in the running order. He wound up finishing 5th. He was the strongest of the Fords. The Penske Fords were nowhere to be found. Ryan Blaney started from the pole but dropped like an absolute rock from the start of that race all the way back, and he never really saw the front again. So here's what I think. I think that at Homestead, I would not be surprised if most of the racing for the championship took place between Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. And I think Martin Truex Jr. just has a little bit more than Kyle Busch does. So that's what I think we're going to see at Homestead, but gosh, who knows? Anything can happen in racing. They could all crash one another and wreck one another. Someone could have problems, engine issues, run out of gas. Who knows? There could be so much that goes on. All I know is I think it's going to be a really good race, and I can't wait to talk about it next week. So yeah, next week, when we do one of these, we'll be talking championship because we will finally know who is the 2017 NASCAR champion. So that's all going to be right here next week on NRN. Join me for that. That'll be a really good conversation to have as we come down to the last race of the season. I'm Justin with NRN, and thanks for watching this. I'll see you next week. Take it easy.